There are many people who say Trayvon Martin was a thug. They say this because of all the negative information they have heard. This is why it's not good for certain information to get into the hands of the public. Many people are idiots. They will approve of you being murdered because you were not a perfect angel, as if they themselves are perfect angels. These people are fake. They talk about Trayvon Martin being suspended from school. Big deal. Many people are suspended from school. They are not thugs. They talk about Trayvon having burglary tools. How do you know they were burglary tools? How do you know what the tools were used for? There are many people who steal, they shoplift, but they are not thugs. These people, they wouldn't think of harming another person. They steal, but they are not dangerous. They talk about Trayvon smoking weed. Smoking weed is no big deal. Rich white kids smoke weed. Many of them smoke weed with their parents right at the mansion in the well to do neighborhoods. Smoking weed does not make you a thug. It's time for me to educate you now. I am going to make it perfectly clear of what a thug is. So pay attention. George Zimmerman said Trayvon Martin walked towards him. He had his hand in his waistband. I believe he said this because he wanted to imply that Trayvon Martin was armed. He wanted it to seem as if he was dealing with a hardcore criminal. He was already preparing his self-defense claim. Alrighty, here we go. He said Trayvon Martin was walking towards him. Now let me tell you what a real thug would do. If George Zimmerman was telling the truth and he was dealing with a real thug would have been armed. He would have shot up Zimmerman's vehicle. Zimmerman would have died in a blaze of gunfire because a real thug would have been armed and ready for trouble. All right, here we go to the next part. Zimmerman says Trayvon Martin circled his vehicle. It made Zimmerman nervous, he said. He obviously wasn't nervous enough. He didn't speed off like a nervous person would do. It doesn't make sense to let a suspect who you say is up to no good circle your vehicle. Why would you be stupid and allow him to circle your vehicle? Don't you know you could be shot when he gets that close? Not only that, if Trayvon Martin was even a minor thug, he doesn't have to be a big thug, just a minor thug, he would have at least smashed out the windows of Zimmerman's vehicle or scratched it up. He would have done some type of damage to show his wrath. He didn't have a gun to shoot Zimmerman, so he would have at least damaged his vehicle in some sort of way. But he didn't. This is why I don't believe he circled Zimmerman's vehicle. Here is the next part. He says Trayvon Martin bashed his head in. Come on now. A real thug would not have allowed Zimmerman to get to his gun. That means he slacked up. Trayvon Martin slacked up. 'Cause we already know Zimmerman didn't fight back. He couldn't afford to have witnesses see him swinging at Trayvon, so he didn't even fight back. Come on now, Trayvon Martin. People want to pretend that Trayvon Martin was big, but we all know he was not big. We have seen the video footage. They also say Trayvon Martin was fighting mixed martial arts style. How can you be big and fighting mixed martial arts style and your victim isn't fighting back? How can you be big fighting mixed martial arts style and not properly bash his head in? If Trayvon Martin was a real thug, he would have known how to properly bash Zimmerman's head in. He would have bashed his head in, showing him no mercy, no slacking up. He would have bashed his head in until he was unconscious or dead. After he had properly bashed his head in, he would have taken his gun and shot him dead with his own gun. This is what a real thug would do. Now you people know what a real thug is. Many of you have been playing games, pretending to believe the liar, George Zimmerman. You know he's not telling the truth. You are just evil, racist white people, and you're glad that a black person was murdered. This is the truth. George Zimmerman would not be alive right now if Trayvon Martin was a real thug. A real thug would have properly bashed his head in and shot him dead with his own gun. This is the truth.